Hi, I'm Joyce, the Energy Lady, and I want to share with you an interesting story. This was probably a year ago, but I got on the plane, I sat next to a really nice gentleman, and one of his first questions he asked me was, after our introduction, of course, how are you multiplying your loaves and fishes? Now, if you know the Bible or you don't know the Bible, there's a story about Jesus where he actually multiplied fishes and bread to feed multitudes of people. And it was a parable. And my interpretation of that is, and when he asked me this question, it was, how am I using my gifts and talents? How am I sharing what I have so multiply and will help others? And that has been always on my mind ever since he asked me that question. First of all, it was really unusual and unique, and he and I made friends really quickly and talked the whole flight. But what really has stuck with me is, how am I using those talents and gifts that I have? And I could tell you multiple stories about people that I've seen, clients that I've worked with, who are hanging on to their talents and gifts. They're hoarding them. I call them hoarding. They're stingy with them because by hanging on to those, they don't have to step out of their comfort zone. It is definitely a stepping out of one's comfort zone to have to share your gifts and your talents, because I believe God gave them to you to use, not to bury. I believe that he gave them to us to share and make the world a better place to be. But if you are hanging on to them and clinging to them and not sharing them for fear of what? Somebody may reject you. Somebody might be upset with you. Somebody might disagree with you. They might not like you. And what else could there be? There are multiple reasons people will have for not doing that. I had one particular client who I have been working with for years, who I've been pushing her to use her talent. She's an extremely talented person. And I just kept pushing her and kept working with her to release all of those fears and concerns about using her gifts. And she finally just opened her business. And I'm super excited for her. She doesn't mean she's not really nervous and scared about it. And of course, the fears are, will anybody come? Will anybody receive my gifts? Will I get paid for it? Will I get paid enough? Those are all kinds of fears about starting it. But I believe that God covers us if we go out and choose to use those gifts. He'll help us. And I really have seen some of the side effects of not using those gifts and talents. And I call them the 3 side effects of: it keeps you stuck, it keeps you sick, and it keeps you stingy. And the reason for that is, if you're not using those talents and you're not out sharing what you have, then you're going to feel stuck because you're not moving forward and you're not doing what you feel called to do. And then the second one is sick. Many people get sick because that is a great excuse for not using your gifts and talents. It's like, oh, I just can't. I don't feel good, or I have this illness, or I have that illness, and so I can't even go out and talk to people. And I call it stingy, because whenever we are not using our gifts and talents, we are stingy. We're stingy with our time. We're stingy with our money. We're stingy with our gifts, and we hold them tight, and we're not sharing them. So if you're trying to play super safe and you're trying really hard to not use those gifts and talents, then you're probably experiencing one of those 3. And if you want to let go of any of those 3 that I just named, then take baby step leaps, okay, into moving into using your talents and your gifts. I loved a quote that I read in A Course in Miracles this morning, where it said, we were actually born with eagle wings, but we shrink down to sparrow wings because we don't realize how high we can fly. And I believe in that firmly. And I believe that our true divine selves that are full of gifts and talents really want you to branch out. So if you're stuck in any of those stuck, sick, or stingy zones, reach out to me. I help in those areas. That's what I do. So have a great day. See ya.